Hi everyone, it's Heather. Welcome back into the Paper Castle. This is another current video. I had a little bit of a sales update that I wanted to share with you guys instead of, putting the captions up. Plus, I have a tiny little haul from the beginning of last month in August, and a couple things that I bought at a thrift store over the weekend. Actually, we went to thrift stores on my birthday. There were some sales on Saturday, the day before my birthday, so I did go to some of those and found a few, decent things. And then the weather kind of sucked on my birthday. It was raining and on and off and just cloudy and gray and gloomy. And my husband had said to me, he's like, so, do you have anything special you want to do today? And I'm like, well, I really want to go zip lining. I said, but, the weather stinks. And he's like, plus, you gave me no notice. I'm like, yeah, I guess I didn't. So I said, well, why don't the four of us, go to, the 3 thrift stores that are like a half an hour from my house, and we'll just walk around, look for weird stuff and see if I can find any treasures. And my family was like, of course, that's what you want to do. They're like, really? You want to go to thrift stores on your birthday? I'm like, yeah. There was nothing else to do. So, anyway, that shows you guys that I really need to get a life. I'm a complete loser. I really have to, get a hobby or something, or get back into my crafting or do something, because that's sad. Anyway, so I have that stuff to show you. I have the 2 sales to show you. Today was the first day of school for my daughter going into 8th grade. And of course, we're off to a fantastic start because she missed the bus. But in her defense, the bus normally shows up at 5 minutes to 7. And on the website, it said the bus was going to show up at 6:42. I'm like, 6:42? Holy cow. So I told her, I said, please be ready at 6:42 just in case. I said, the bus is never here on time on the first day. They're always late. I said, but please be ready by 6:42. So at 6:42, she's almost ready. She's upstairs, and all of a sudden the bus pulls up. And I go, you have got to be kidding me. So I'm trying to wave at the bus wait. And I'm screaming up the stairs at her. And she finally comes down, and right as she comes downstairs, the bus, I guess, couldn't wait any longer, and they drove away. And I'm like, oh, God. So, apparently now it's a tradition that I drive her to school on the first day of school. Because last year she was on crutches because she broke her leg. So I had to drive her to and from for the first, month and a half. And now we started out this year with me driving her to school. So, anyway, fingers crossed that she does okay. We went to open house yesterday, so she got to see all her rooms and know where she's going. And the only thing I was really ticked about was that open house was from 1 to 2, and none of the teachers were in their rooms. They were all in another room with the door shut having a meeting. And I'm like, really? Open house is only an hour. You people can't get out of the room and stop having a meeting and come and meet some of your students? So that was rude, but anyway. So that's what's going on today. And then, like I said, over the weekend I had my birthday. My family bought me all kinds of sarcastic cards, and my son, who works at a grocery store, and, even though he's exclusively in one department, I think he knows everyone in the store. That's just the kind of person my son is. He talks to everyone, makes friends with everyone. So I said something to him about, I've never, or at least in a long time, decades, had a real professional birthday cake. So he's like, oh, I'm going to take care of it for you. He's like, I know what to do. I'm like, oh, here we go. So he's like, you just gotta give me, leeway and let me do what I want. I'm like, great, this is gonna turn out to be fantastic. So he did give me chocolate cake with chocolate mousse filling and all that. But then he ended up getting my husband to go through my phone and get the number of my best friend from high school. Because she is the only person that we know, other than my parents and my mother-in-law and that, who is older than me. Everyone else, my husband, his brothers and sisters, our friends, everybody is younger than me. She's the only person who's older by 11 days, and so she's the only one that I can, give any crap to about it. So he texted her and said, Aunt Karen, can you do me a favor? And had her take a picture of herself with this like surprised look on her face. So in the middle of my cake is a picture of my best friend with this surprised look on her face, and on the top and the bottom of the picture it says, "Holy crap, you're old." And then all along the side are quotes from my family. My son said, "You're older than dirt." My daughter said, my son said, "1 foot in the grave." My daughter said, "You're older than dirt." And my husband said, "Just follow the GPS," which is a inside joke that we have, because one time I was out at an estate sale about half hour from here. I was near a quarry and I'm following the directions of the GPS and heading home, and all of a sudden the GPS tells me to take a right. Well, if I had taken a right, I would have gone off a cliff on the quarry and fallen to my death. So I told my husband that story, and my husband's like, "Were the kids in the car with you?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Okay, then always follow the GPS." So that's his running joke, that he secretly programs the GPS to kill me. But anyway, that was my cake. And instead of we always put number candles on the cake, like whatever age you are. So instead of putting a 5 and a 0, since I was turning 50, they decided to calculate how many days I'd been on this earth. So they put 18,250 on my cake, which was great. And of course, then my mom kind of burst their bubble when she came over that night. She's like, "Did you count like leap year days?" And my husband's like, "No." And she's like, "Well, then it's not accurate." So I thought that was funny. But anyway, and then my son graciously, gifted me this lovely folding aluminum cane. So that's great, which I'll have to donate to someone in need, because knock on wood, I don't need that right now. My daughter gave me a CD. My mommy made me this very pretty card. Look how pretty this is. I don't know if you can see, but it says right here, it says happy birthday. And it has all these layers. And then in the back, it's hard to see, but there's a picture of the Eiffel Tower with a big butterfly, because I love France and the Eiffel Tower and butterflies, and my favorite color is purple, so she kind of, put everything all together in one card for me. So this will probably go in my hutch in my living room because it's so pretty. So I got all that, and then my husband decided to do something for me that I had talked about for a long time. And I was very surprised. I'm the only member of my family who was born on the West Coast. Every other single person was born in New York City, New Jersey, or Pennsylvania. And of course, I'm the oddball who was born in San Diego, because my father was stationed, when he was in the Navy, he was stationed at Miramar. So I was born out there. We left when I was 2, and I haven't been back since then. And I had always mentioned here and there that, wouldn't it be great if I could go back there and go back with my mom, so she could show me, here was our apartment building, which I believe is still there, and this is the hospital where you were born, which I know is still there. And I always wanted to go to the zoo. That's been a dream of mine, to go to the San Diego Zoo. Because when I was a little kid, I wanted to be Joan Embry. For those of you who don't know, she used to be on the Johnny Carson show, on the Tonight Show. And she was like the ambassador to the San Diego Zoo, and she would come and bring all the animals on. And when I was a little kid, I wanted her job so bad. I'm like, I want to go back to San Diego and be Joan Embry. But it kind of didn't work out that way. But anyway, my husband decided he's going to use some of the points on our credit card, I guess, and send my mom and I to San Diego sometime in the next couple months. And we'll be there for 5 days, and I can go to the zoo and see the sights and all that jazz, and kind of, see where it all started. Although I'm thinking, because I've been in Jersey so long, that California is going to be a little bit of a culture shock for me. But if anybody, I know some of you are out there in California. If anybody can, tell me, especially in San Diego, where should I go? Where should I eat? What should I do? If you have any recommendations for hotels or anything like that, preferably one that serves breakfast, so we don't have to worry about breakfast. We just have to worry about lunch and dinner. But that's what we're doing, and I'm excited. Probably shooting for like end of October, except for Halloween, or beginning of November. I kind of want to go before, after the rummage sales end. But don't tell my husband that, because he'll tell me that I'm completely obsessed. Which I am, but that's okay. Okay, I have been babbling now for 11 minutes. So I'm going to move on and show you guys, first of all, what I got at the garage sales the beginning of last month. I didn't have a lot of time because I had to take my daughter to the dentist this particular morning, so thankfully there was a community sale. It's in like a 55 and over community, and there was especially this one woman's house who I go to. She has it every other year, I think, and she's kind of like my garage sale soulmate, because she has all this mishmash of weird stuff, and I love all of it. And it's dirt cheap. Unfortunately, I got there a little bit late, so I'm sure I missed out on a lot of good deals, but I'll show you guys what I picked up. I spent a total of $12 over there. So first I got this little Luwak teapot. Hoping to get maybe a little over 20 for this. I think I paid $1 or $2 for that. I think I paid $1 for that. Yes. Then for another $1, I got one of these cow parade figurines. I've sold these before. I think they're hideous, but people love them. This is the mosaic one. I think I have him up for $25 plus shipping, something like that. Most of these are up for auction right now. They're not on my site though, because my husband is now trying to increase the number of items in his eBay site. He doesn't have a store yet. And he wants me to help him, which is driving me crazy because you guys know I don't like change. And he's like, can you transfer some of your things to my site and, put some of your new stuff in my site, and that way I can get more listings, and then it'll be cost effective then to get a store. And I'm like, ugh. So I reluctantly said okay. So most of this stuff I think is on his site now. Anyway, this I think I got for $1. This is a really pretty blown glass heart that has like this metallic foiling in it. I think I put that up for $20 with free shipping, and that has a watcher on it. Then from the museum company, I got this little, I think it's pewter coated with some black matte finish. It's this little figurine of a sacred cat. That was 50 cents. I have that up for $20 with free shipping, and I have a watcher on that at auction. Then this was $1. I picked it up just because, oh no, this was $2 actually. It's a hand-painted Santa Claus sitting on top of a pig. Why? I don't know, but it is. Anyway, it says made in Russia down here. If that's going to focus. There we go. There was a tag here, but it's gone. Looks like there was something there also. I have no clue. I've tried to do research on this. I cannot figure out if, the maker of this thing at all. So if anybody knows anything about this, please let me know. But I have it up on eBay, I think for $20 or $25. I think that includes shipping, but don't quote me on that. So we'll see what happens with that. For another $1, I bought this Fitz and Floyd salt and pepper set, and then when I got home I realized it's actually not a set. It's from 2 different patterns. So I might have to sell these separately. Oh, we'll see. I don't know. I'm torn between putting them up together and putting them up separately. Then for another, I think this was 50 cents. Yeah. I got this little Lennox Snowman hinged box that has a little snowflake image inside. Maybe only 10 bucks on that plus shipping. That's not up yet. Neither is this. This is a little Lennox crystal angel ornament. That was 50 cents, maybe 10 including shipping on that. Then this I bought because it's Department 56. This is like a bunny family. Can't really find a name or a collection attached to it. So I think I have that up for 20 plus shipping at auction. I don't know. I've been listing so much trying to help my husband out and stuff that who knows. Then this is a Lennox set of salt and pepper shakers that I believe I paid $1 for. Yes. This is from the Butterfly Meadow collection. These cute little turtles. One's upside down. The other one has a little butterfly on its back. Brand new in the box. Paid $1. I think I have these up as a buy it now of 25 plus shipping. And if my husband asked me this question the other day, so I'm going to answer it for you guys in case someone's thinking, why do you have free shipping on some things and free shipping and you don't have it on other things? I don't know. It depends on what mood I'm in that day. Or it depends if something sounds too expensive in my head, if I add the free, if I add the shipping into it. So then I'll just take it off the sale price and I'll add it in as shipping. I don't know. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's just what's going on in my head that day. Then the last couple things I bought at that sale, and I believe this was $1. No, this was 50 cents. This isn't up yet, but I saw this and the first thing I thought of was Harmony Kingdom, which is a company that made these like carved figurines that are also boxes, and they look like those Netsuki, I think that's how you say it, figurines from Japan. And I've sold Harmony Kingdom before and did pretty well with it. So I looked at this, and then I looked at the bottom, and it says SIAB. I'm like, well, what the heck is that? And then I finally figured out that SIAB means, surprise, it's a box. I mean, what can you fit in there? Like a pea? I don't know. But I guess that's not the point. It's just supposed to be the fact that, surprise, it's a box. Anyway, this is a seal and it's cub or pup or whatever, or sea lion. I'll put sea lion and seal in the title. Probably only make about 10 bucks, but surprise, it's a box was actually a precursor to Harmony Kingdom. I think they actually turned into Harmony Kingdom later on. If you want to see some really weird things, just do a Google search of Harmony Kingdom, and there's some just bizarre looking figurine boxes that show up. It's really strange. And then the last thing I bought for $1 was this really pretty hook with the butterfly with all the enameling and the rhinestones, and I can't find any others on eBay, and I really don't think I want to sell it because it's so pretty. Because I love butterflies and enamel and sparkles and all that stuff, because, I'm a girl. So I just need to find a place in my house to put this, because I think I'm keeping it. Okay, that's it from the garage sales. And let me show you what I found. Oh no, one more thing, sorry. This was from another sale in that community sale. I only bought all those things from that one woman and then one other thing, even though I went to like, I don't know, 15 houses. But I found this cute little needlepoint stocking with the orange striped tabby cat. There, you can see it better that way. So that was $1. Probably gets 15 to 20 on that. And then from the thrift stores We went to 2 Goodwills and then another thrift store we have out here called Yellow Tag, which used to be a Salvation Army. The problem with all of them is they're way overpriced, especially the Goodwills. I mean, you really have to look under the radar at the Goodwill and this other store to find things that are worth buying, unless they're having a sale, which they hardly ever have. So it's really kind of frustrating going to the thrift stores. But I still go because you just never know when you're going to find something that they missed, and it's worth something and they don't. So I only bought 2 things, and that was from the first store that we went to. And of course my husband thought I was completely nuts, which he always does when I buy things. But it's going to pay off in the end. The first thing I bought for $2 was this little owl mug. This is from a line that West Elm did by Rachel Kozlowski. There's a dapper owl, and there's a whole bunch of different animals, and they're all dressed in like hats and fancy clothes and stuff like that. So I think I can get like 20 with shipping or 20 plus shipping out of him. We'll see. Because I've seen the plates go. There's matching plates, but it's hard to find the mug by itself. So the only other thing I bought from there, and my husband thought I was nuts, was this picture. And I kept going back and looking at it, and I kept going back and looking at it. And my husband's like, what on earth is that, and why do you keep picking it up? And I said, well, because first of all, it's got all this Masonic like symbolism on it. He's like, uh-huh. And I said, and it's got a good name on the bottom, which is Modaheda. I think that's how you say it. And he's like, uh-huh. And I said, and it's some kind of bicentennial thing. He's like, uh-huh. And he's looking at the price tags, and he goes, but it's $12.99. I go, yeah, I know. He goes, you never spend that much on anything. He's like, unless you can look it up and you know for sure that, you're going to make money. Because I had tried to look it up, and I could not find this anywhere on eBay. And I said, well, you got to trust me. I have a feeling. And he's like, oh, here we go. It's like, kids, mom has a feeling about something. And they're like, oh, no. So I just couldn't get this, feeling out of my head. And I said, I have to buy it. Even though I can't find it on eBay, I have to buy it. So I did. I came home. I actually found one on WorthPoint, which I do not have a subscription to. But I asked my son for his email so I could get a free 7 days, because I think I've already used mine, and probably my husband's. And I did get to see the price that this sold for. One of these sold 10 years ago. And I don't know, the market may have changed a lot. I might not make, close to that, or I might make more than that, who knows. But the last one sold for $177. I was like, woohoo! So we'll see what happens with this one. But of course, the main thing is that I proved my husband wrong. And proved that my intuition is good. And speaking of proving my husband wrong, let me get to the little sales updates I have for you. The one thing I already sent out, so you can't see it. You can see it if you go to the completed listings, because that item was in my store. But a few weeks ago, okay, I had to start my video over again. A few weeks ago, I went to a sale. There weren't too many going on, and so I drove like a half an hour out to this house. And I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking, and I'm looking. I'm like, here we go. I'm not finding anything. And finally I went into the garage, and I saw a Sony Sports CD Walkman in there. Brand spanking new in the clamshell packaging. And I'm like, ugh. And I got very excited. And there was no price on it. I'm like, oh crap, there's no price. So I picked it up, went over to the guy, and I said, how much for this? He's like, he's like, we looked those up on eBay. I'm like, oh no, here we go. He's like, do you know how much those are going for? And I honestly said to him, I'm like, no, I really don't. I knew it was worth something, but I had no idea how much. And he's like, well, they're worth a good amount of money. He's like, I really can't take less than 20. I'm like, okay. So, gave him the $20, and Oh, now I hear my son moving around. Gave him the 20 bucks and came home, showed it to my husband. He's like, why on earth did you buy that? And why did you spend $20? And I said, because I can make a boatload on this. He's like, how much can you make? Like $100? And I go, no, I can make over $400 on this CD Walkman. He's like, no, you can't. He's like, you're delusional. So I put it up in my store for $440. And Friday night, 2 days before my birthday, happy birthday to me, my phone went cha-ching, and I looked at it, and I went, oh my God. My husband goes, what? And I go, I sold it. He goes, you sold what? I go, the CD Walkman. He goes, are you kidding? He goes, who bought that? He goes, what'd you sell it for? $100, like I said? I go, nope, sold it for $440. He goes, you've got to be kidding me. Like, nope. So I think that's the most expensive item I've ever sold on eBay, guys. I was really, really, really happy. I've sold one other thing for more than that to someone my husband worked with that I paid $5 for, and I think I sold to him for $5.50. But moving on, the last thing I sold was last night, and this item was in my husband's store, so I knew that his phone would get a cha-ching, because he actually cloned the eBay app to my phone. So now we both get cha-chings when something sells in his store, because I told him, I said, I'm not putting anything in your store until you can figure out how I get my cha-chings. I said, because I'm going to twitch if I have stuff over there and I don't know when it sells. So now I get cha-chings for my store and his. So last night, around 11:30, my phone cha-chings, and so does his. And I'm like, okay, it's either a Volvo car part or it's one of my things. Well, it turned out to be one of my things. And it was this little tiny Bible. And I paid 50 cents for this. And it's in amazing condition. And the gentleman who bought it, who's in Allentown, which is only an hour away, paid $125 for this. So, yay! And I knew, as my husband was sleeping on the couch, when he finally woke up and looked at his phone, he would go, are you kidding? So, of course, he came downstairs this morning. He goes, are you kidding me? You sold a tiny Bible for $125? I go, yes, I did. He's like, I just don't get it. And I said, when are you going to realize that I kind of know what I'm doing? He's like, I know you know what you're doing. He goes, but I just don't get it. He goes, you just buy such weird things. And he goes, and people will pay you, like, outrageous sums of money for them. Like, yes, that's the whole point of this. So, anyway, that will be shipped out today. And now I have to get back to work because my daughter is at school and I don't have any places to take her, and I really got to buckle down and get some work done, especially if I'm going to go to San Diego and miss 5 days of working. Although I could list while I'm gone. But anyway. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.